Good morning students, myself Shobhit Ghosh from Shakti Digital Marga. During the last lecture of general science, we have studied the anomalous behavior of water in the chapter properties of natural resources. Okay, so there are three natural resources, namely air, water and land. Okay, so in that we have studied first the properties of air. After that we have studied the properties of water, and in today's lecture we will learn the properties of land. Okay, but some part of properties of water is remaining. So in that the uses of water according to its property. Now you know that different properties of water. In that you should know what are the different uses of water. So first use, water is useful for water transport due to its fluidity. What is meant by fluidity? So you know that, for example, river, the water flows from one place to other place. It is called as fluidity. Okay. So it is the important property of water. Means water is not stay at particular point. It can flow from one place to another place. It is called as fluidity of water. So fluidity is important characteristics of water, and it is useful for generating the electricity. Okay, so due to the property of fluidity of water, we can generate the electricity, and by generating the electricity, we are able to generate the electricity. Okay, so with the help of generator, we are able to generate electricity. Now, second use, water is a good coolant and is used for in motor vehicles. Okay, means water is also important content for the coolant. As a coolant means, for example, when we drive the car for more time, at that time the engine of that vehicle it becomes hot. So to cool that engine, water is useful as a coolant. Okay. Now third property, many substances are soluble in water. Now you know that water is called as universal solvent. Means what? Most of the substances which are dissolved in water, for example salt, sugar, okay, these substances are easily dissolved in the water. So most of the substances which are present in the nature, they are dissolved in water. Therefore, water is called as universal solvent. So water is used as a solvent in factories. Now in most of the factories, water is used, then laboratories, foodstuff, and in various types of biological processes. For example, in our body, we drink near about 4 to 5 liters water every day. So, to biological processes like digestion, then respiration, excretion. So, most of the biological processes requires water. Okay. So, due to water, all the biological processes running smoothly. So, therefore, water is useful as a universal solvent. So, it is the important property that is water is solvent. Okay. So it is useful in biological processes like digestion, excretion, etc. Now fourth property, water is useful for cleaning purposes. Means now you know that if you want to clean any object or any material, we use water. So water is useful for cleaning purposes. For example, utensils, then cloths, okay, vehicles, and for bathing also. Means to clean our body, we also use the water. So water is useful for cleaning purpose also. So these are the four important properties of water. Now this is all about the properties of natural resources, that is water. Now the last natural resource, that is land. Means up to this point we have studied the properties of air and water. Now the remaining part of the chapter is properties of land. Okay. So soil is one of the important constituent of the land. Before starting this point, there are some questions. First question, what is meant by soil and how is soil formed? Now, in the 6th standard, you have studied how soil is formed. You know that to prepare 1 kilogram of soil or formation of 1 kilogram of soil, near about 1000 years are required. And soil is formed by the weathering process. Means, for example, when there is a weathering of large rocks. So, what is meant by weathering? Now you know that, for example, these are the large mountains or rocks. By raining or by the sunlight, the cracks are developed in the rocks or in the mountains. So such type of cracks leads to formation of large particles of mountains or rocks. Then after withering of such large particles, they are converted into smaller and smaller particles, and finally the small soil particles are formed. So formation of 1 kilogram of soil we require near about 1000 years. Means in natural condition we require 1000 years to manufacture or to produce 1 kilogram of soil. Okay. Now second question, what are the ingredients of soil? Means what is the composition of soil? Now you know that composition of soil consists of small particles. Okay, particles are present in soil. After that, humus. What is meant by humus? Now for example, when the animal or plant become dead, or the branches of plants become dry, after that these branches or the dead bodies of animals, they mix in the soil. After some days, that dead body become decomposed by the small microorganisms. After that, the humus is formed. Humus means the mixture of chemicals and nutrients. Okay. So nutrients, mainly which nutrients are present in the soil? Nitrogen, then phosphorus and potassium, NPK. Nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus, these are the important nutrients which are present in the dead bodies of the animals as well as dried parts of the plants. Okay. So soil contains small particles. After that, humus means chemical substances as well as nutrients. Okay. Then some chemical substances. Which are the chemical substances? Iron. Okay. Then lime means sodium. Okay. These are the important chemical substances which are present in the soil. Okay. So this is called as composition of soil or ingredients of the soil. So which are the ingredients which are present in the soil? First one is particles. After that, humus means the contents from the dry parts of the plants as well as dead bodies of the animals. It is due to the humus the soil becomes more fertile. Okay. What is meant by fertility or fertile soil? We will see afterwards. Means as per the composition or the proportion of the humus, the fertility of soil depends. Means as the more amount of humus is present in the soil, at that time the fertility of soil is more. Understand? So these are the ingredients of the soil. Now next part of the chapter is called properties of the soil. Next point is properties of soil. Properties of soil. Now first property of the soil is color. Okay. Now you might have seen different colors of the soil. For example, it may be black color soil, then red color soil, brown color soil, then copper color soil. Okay. So these are the different colors of the soil. Then there may be yellow color soil also. Okay. Yellow color soil. So these are the different colors of the soil. Grey color soil is also there. Okay. So it is one of the important property of the soil. The first property is color. It may be black color, red color, grey color, then yellow, brown or copper color. So these 6 color soil is found in the nature. Okay. So soil gets 6 color as a result of several processes. During last year also you have studied different layers of the soil. For example, the topmost layer is called as fertile layer. Okay. So such type of layer. So for example, where you see the different layers of the soil from the topmost layer up to below the ground. So the topmost layer of the soil, it is more dark. Okay. And when you go downside, it becomes lighter. Okay. Means at the upper part of the land, the soil is more dark as compared to the lower layers of the soil. Okay. The color of the soil near the land surface. This is the upper part, means this is called as land surface. Near the land surface, the soil is more dark as compared to the down levels of the soil. Okay. The color of the soil near land surface is darker than the color in the lower layers. Soil may be different colors such as black, then red, then grey, yellow, brown and copper. Okay. The colors of the soil are useful for its classification. Besides, they are indirectly useful in indicating several properties of the land. Means different properties of the land are depend on the color of the soil. For example, black color soil is more fertile than other color soil. Okay. So the color of the soil indicates the fertility of the soil also. In this way, the proportion of the soil such as fertility. So first property or important characteristics or property of the soil is called as fertility. Okay. I told you that. So more is the content of humus, there is a more fertile soil. Means as the fertility of soil is more, at that time the production of crops or the growth of the plant is higher. Okay. So in this way, the proportions of the soil such as fertility, then drainage of water. What is mean by drainage of water? For example, when you put the water in the soil, that water flows from the particles. It is called as drainage. Okay, drainage system. So drainage of water is also important property of soil. Then capacity to hold water. For example, when you pour the water in the clay soil, at that time all the water is absorbed by that soil. The property of absorption of absorption of water, it is called as water holding capacity of the soil. Okay, water holding capacity, it becomes more clear from its color. Okay, so all these properties, for example, fertility, then drainage and water holding capacity, it depends on the color of the soil. Okay, the color of the soil depends upon its texture. Texture is what? Quality of the soil to grow more improved varieties of the crops. So it is called as texture. So color of soil depends upon the texture and its organic ingredients. Organic ingredients means what? The important components like nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, and chemical substances like iron and lime. It is called as organic constituents. Okay. So these are called as organic constituents of the soil. Now there is one important activity which gives proper idea about what is meant by water holding capacity and what is meant by drainage of water. So I told you the important properties of water regarding color, then drainage of water, then water holding capacity. Okay. So one activity is given in your book. From that activity you get the clear idea of the concept drainage and water holding capacity. Okay. So in that activity, what is the apparatus, which apparatus is important to do the activity? Now we will see. Okay. First, you have to take 3 measuring cylinders. Okay, like this, which are shown in the picture in the book, page number 22. Okay, 3 measuring cylinders you have to take. So in that you keep one conical flask in each of the measuring cylinders. You keep conical flask in this also. So now this is the measuring cylinder. In that you have seen the markings in Yemen. Okay. So such type of markings are seen. You keep 3 conical flasks in each measuring cylinder. After that you keep filter papers inside that conical flask. Okay. Or funnel. You keep the papers inside this, as shown in the picture which are shown in your book. Okay, you put the papers inside that conical flask. after that, in that paper, in first measuring cylinder, you put the sand inside that filter paper. Okay, sand. In second, you put seed soil, and in third, you keep the clay soil in this filter paper. Okay, means first you take 3 measuring cylinder. After that, you keep 3 conical funnels inside that measuring cylinder, and after that, you keep filter papers in each of the funnel. Okay, after that, in that filter paper, in first measuring cylinder or in first funnel, you keep the sandy soil. After that, in second filter paper, you keep the seed soil, and in third paper, you keep the clay soil. After that, you put near about 15 ml water. Okay, in each filter paper. Okay. Now after some time, what will happen? The water that you pour from upper side, it comes down from that conical slab. Okay, and we start collecting. Okay, we start collecting in the measuring cylinder. Understand? So now as shown in the picture, in first measuring cylinder, it consists of which soil? Sandy soil. The amount of water which is collected inside the measuring cylinder is more. Okay, in seed soil is less than sandy soil and is more than clay soil. And in the third measuring cylinder, the amount of water is less than sandy soil and seed soil. Okay, this means that sandy soil have less water holding capacity. That's why the water is collected, more water is collected in the measuring cylinder as compared to seed soil and clay soil. And in the second measuring cylinder, the water holding capacity is less than sandy soil and more than clay soil. Okay, so that the amount of water which is collected is less than sandy soil and more than clay soil, and the water holding capacity in the clay soil is maximum. Therefore, most of the water gets absorbed in the clay soil and less water is collected in the measuring cylinder. Therefore, the amount of water which is collected in the measuring cylinder, which consists of clay soil, is minimum or less than seed soil as well as sandy soil. From this activity, what is the inference? Means, for example, first one is sand, then seed, then clay soil. Okay. First one means water holding capacity, and drainage. So sandy soil have less water holding capacity and more drainage. Okay, drainage capacity is more, and in said soil, water holding capacity is medium, draining is also medium. Okay, and in clay soil, the water holding capacity is more and drainage is less. Okay, means the amount of water that is absorbed by the soil, sandy soil, is less. The amount of water which is absorbed by the seed soil is medium, and the amount of water which holds or absorbed by the clay soil is more. Okay. And opposite to that, drainage system means the water which is given out or flow from sandy soil is more, the drainage from the seed soil is medium, and the drainage capacity from clay soil is less. Okay. So it is the important property of the soil. First one is color, then water holding capacity, and third one is drainage. Okay. So in the next lecture, we will study the different properties, remaining properties of the soil and uses of soil. Okay. Thank you, friends.